Hello, I'm Gary Siegel, a solutions engineer at Mend. In today's short video, I'm going to talk about open source licensing notices and why they're required and how Mend can help you meet notice obligations. First, let's talk about what notices are and why they may be required. There are a number of factors that go into determining if you need to publish notices in addition to the licenses. First and foremost is the license requirements themselves from whatever open source licenses are being used by the various open source components in use in your project. These may be triggered by different distribution methods of your software, whether you're distributing it directly on media, downloading it or exchanging it via cloud resources, or simply allowing people to use it internally. And of course, your organization will have its own compliance and policy requirements that you'll have to meet. To determine which applies to you, the best advice is to consult with your organization's legal and compliance representatives, as this video should not be considered legal advice. Let's take a look at the Apache version 2.0 license. In section 4 for redistribution, in subsection 4 underneath that, the text of the license reads that you must include a readable copy of the attribution notices if the work that you're deriving from had a notice text file in it. Again, you'll need to review the content of the source you're working with and your organization's compliance rules to determine if this applies to you. Here's an example of an open source component that includes a noticed file in its distribution. In this case, it's the Java jar for Spring Boot. If you look inside the jar file, which is nothing more than a zip file, and inside the meta info folder, you'll find a notice.txt file with the contents you can see on the right. If you're using Spring Boot, you may be required to include this notice in your license to meet your license obligations. Let's take a look at how Mend can help you do that. Within Mend, the attribution report is a great place to start working with license requirements. So we'll go ahead and pull up the attribution report for a Java project. And since we're talking about Spring Boot before, I'll go ahead and filter it for the Spring Boot components. And you can see here we have Spring Boot 2.7.1, the same component we'd looked at a few minutes ago. I'll pull up the details on it in Mend, and we'll come over here to the attributions and notices. And we don't have the notice here because the decision to add a notice needs to be done on a per project basis. At this point, if you've determined that you need to add a notice for your license compliance obligations, it's simple to do within Mend. Click the Set Notice button, and you can add a notice to this open source library within Mend. In this case, we'll select Custom Notice, and we'll grab the text from the file. Just copy it here, and paste it into this. We could be done at this point, as I've done here, but we might also want to add a reference. In this case, it's usually a URL pointing to the home page for the component, and Mend makes this easy as well. We actually have that component, the URL right here, and we can simply copy it and add it to the license notice obligation here. It's now included here, and when I go back and pull my attribution report for the Java project, we'll see that the notice is set here. And when we actually pull the report, which I'll do now, the notice will be included in that. I'll export an HTML version for easy viewing. Once it's downloaded, we can open it up and take a look at it. And you can see right here at the top, the notice we've added is right in the attribution report. There could be other reasons that you wish to add notices to libraries, and all of those can be included in using this process. Thank you for taking the time to review this information. If you require further assistance, please contact your Mend customer support representative or review the resources on our website at mend.io.